The Buffalo Bills played their first preseason game at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York on yesterday, and the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky... No, it's not. Calm down, everybody. Fans are going crazy. They think the season is over. It's not over. We haven't even started yet. It's a preseason game. Okay? First of all, Von Miller didn't play. Matt Milano didn't play. Daquan Jones didn't play. Ed Oliver played one play. Josh Allen played 1.5 series because he got pulled because the quarter ended, apparently. So everybody just relax a little bit. The score was 6-3 at halftime when we had our starters in the first quarter and then started to bring in the backups in the second quarter. 6-3. Now, of course, we want to be ahead all the time. We want to be in the lead. But we'll break it down a little bit here. Here's some of the bad things that we did see. 8 pre-snap penalties. That's not going to work. You can't have pre-snap penalties because it puts the offense behind the goal to go before you even snap the ball. Or the defense is letting their offense get ahead of that before you even snap the ball. So we can't have pre-snap penalties. And last year, that was a problem in the first preseason game too, and they fixed it. So I have faith in our coaches to fix that problem. You're going to have that in your first preseason game. That was one problem. The other problem I see is we didn't have a running game throughout the game. And some of that is they tried to run up the middle over and over again and not really show what their outside runs are going to be. But the offensive line was not creating holes for that running game. Not the starting offensive line, not the second string, and not the third string. So the running game is an issue. And obviously the running backs weren't getting large gains because there were no holes to go through. So the running backs didn't have a strong game either. Wide receivers, I thought they did have a good game. The player of the game, Khalil Shakir. He had 3 receptions for, I think, 28 yards. And that's only in basically a quarter of play. So great for him. They showed that how they want to use Curtis Samuel a little bit, that he got a reception. They got the ball to Coleman on a 3rd and medium play. I think it was like 3rd and 6, which you need to pull off. So Coleman showed him as well. Shavers had a reception. I don't know why Mac Hollins didn't play. I never heard why. Maybe you can leave a comment in this video if you know why Mac didn't play, but would have liked to have seen him play. And then they had one attempted pass to MVS, and MVS shows that he's a Pro Bowl player, caliber player at getting open and for his speed, but then he drops the ball. So he dropped the ball again. Who saw that coming? He's had a lot of drops in the past. He has a history of drop passes, and he had some drops in training camp as well. So I am all in on Shavers being the 5th wide receiver. Now, maybe I would be in more on Claypool if he could play, but we haven't seen anything really out of Claypool since he suffered the toe injury. So that's the status of our wide receiver group. On defensive line, I thought, it's really hard to judge because most of them didn't play. But I did see Carter out there making some plays. So I like Dwayne Carter, the draft pick, and he looked good on the defensive line side of the ball. Schmoot was making penetration. I would say one thing on the defensive line. When the guys fake a pass, we've got to remain on our feet. You can't jump up in the air, especially when we face quarterbacks like Mahomes, because they love that pump fake that gets players to leave their feet, and then they just run while the players can't move because they're in the sky. So, that's one thing to work on there. But linebackers, adequate play from our linebackers. But Matt Milano didn't even play. So, it's really hard to judge. Well, the linebackers did. I think Bernard, good game for Bernard, good game from Williams. Not like amazing linebacker play. I even thought Joe Andreessen played well, but we'll see what happens down the road with that. Our corners, the cornerbacks in particular, I thought played well. Elam, he was out there strong. Douglas was out there strong. I even saw some plays from Ingram. So, and Cam Lewis, I don't know that penalty on Cam Lewis. I still don't know what that was. I was confused. I thought he was in front of the receiver. So how did he interfere or cause illegal contact? I was surprised. I thought he was going to intercept the ball. So that I'm happy with our corner play. On defense, though, safety position. I still don't know who's going to be the safety this year, but I was not impressed with what we had on the field for this game. I think our safeties were lacking. Part of that is maybe the defensive pass rush wasn't up to what we wanted it to be and what we hope it will be. But, you know, I thought Cameron Klein, had to look back to remember, Cameron Klein had a good game as well on the defensive line. But we need a little more penetration, and if we don't get penetration on the one end, then you don't get the safety play on the back end. So that's needed a little bit more. They almost got there. They're very close, but didn't quite end the game with the sack. So the safety play as a group, I think that room needs some work. I think a lot of the things that we're talking about here can be developed by watching just the film of the game. Back to the offense, on the two drives that really mattered in the game when Josh Allen was the quarterback. The first drive was a 3-and-out, but it was 3rd and 2, and they ran up the middle. They're trying to show that they can run up the middle. Well, when you're trying to show that, there's a reason, because you haven't been good at it in the past, and they weren't good at it here. The running back got stopped, I think it was Davis, and they had to turn over the ball. In the regular season on a 3rd and 2 is a little long for that type of run, in my opinion. I would have liked to have seen, especially when you've got Josh Allen, to have him throw a pass with the option of him using his feet to pick up that shorter yardage. But you're not going to do that in the preseason because you don't want to get Josh Allen injured. So that's why it's a preseason game. So let's not worry about the sky is falling quite yet. Everybody calm down. It's a preseason game that was 6-3 at halftime. It wasn't, what did it end up? 34-6? It's okay. It's preseason football. And most of the Bears scores came in the fourth quarter when we had our subs in. We have to worry more about what our guys that are actually going to play in games do. So, here's where we stand with most of that. Special teams, not a great game for special teams, in my opinion. Bass, he had a couple of field goals. One was short, one was a little bit longer. He made them both. Great. Sam Martin had a couple of really good punts. He downed one inside the 5-yard line, and he had another one that I think was a good punt. But he also had one that he shanked a little bit, and I just don't think that it was the greatest day for Sam Martin. And the new kickoff rule, a little hard to judge yet because we haven't seen a lot of those kickoffs, but didn't think we did that extremely well. I did see one where I thought KJ Hamler was going to be able to break it, but Davidson, the tight end, missed his block. Oh, on the tight end unit, Kincaid, I think he had a catch. Not really involved too much in the game plan. Quentin Morris got wide open, and Mitch Trubisky just overthrew him. So I think Quentin could have had a touchdown there, which would have made a big difference in the first half. And then on the punt side of it, well, on one kickoff, Hamler fumbled or muffed the kickoff maybe, but we can't have that. We can't have that at all. But then again, on the punt, Daquan Hardy, fair caught the ball at the 4-yard line. I've always been told, don't catch the ball if it's inside the 10. Hope it goes into the end zone. There's not much difference between getting the ball at the 4 and the 1 if it doesn't go into the end zone. So I don't want to see a fair catch at the 4-yard line ever. I think that ball can make it into the end zone. So that might be a rookie mistake. I did see Coach Smiley, the special teams coach, talking to him for a while after he did that. So hopefully we won't see that again. The sky is not falling. The team is going on to Pittsburgh now. And we have to put that behind us. Again, the star of the game, I believe, was Khalil Shakir. The other thing I wasn't happy with, one last thing I wasn't happy with, was the effort towards the end of the game when they did fall behind the Bears and the Bears started to get a big lead. I didn't think that the linebackers were taking great angles to try to make tackles, and that some of the guys didn't play as hard as they should. And I always want to see our players, even if they're getting blown out, play as hard as they can and be like Don Beebe in that Super Bowl and chase down Leon Lett to get the fumble there. So let's stop worrying. Let's not push the eject button quite yet. It's one preseason game. Let's go on and see how they do against the Steelers in the second preseason game, and then the Panthers in the final preseason game of the year. As far as autographs at the game, wide receivers coach Adam Henry, I got his autograph before the game. So now I have, I think, like 8 of our coaches on autographs. I like that. I like Coach Henry, what he's doing with trying to get not just one prime wide receiver, but to have 5 guys that can all play at a high level. And then one of the defensive linemen that I haven't gotten yet, Austin Johnson. He went with, I had a red pen for him to sign it with, but another person had just given him a Sharpie. So he signed it in Sharpie. So it's really hard to see, but you can see it there. He signed it in black, in the black part of the photo, which I guess is a trend that's going around. A lot of people like those black hats with the black logos on them. So that'll work. But for now, go Bills. And always remember this, and this is the most important thing. God loves you, and so do I.